David, David, yeah, but you seem to start a little bit slow, picked up momentum in the third quarter, but just fell away in the last. What are your overall impressions of the performance?
Disappointing. I thought they smacked us around the ball, particularly the tackle count. Our ability to go in and win the ball from a ground ball point of view were okay. I think we won the ground balls, but after that, they just beat us. They tackled us. Their ability to get pressure on us with handball to someone else that was under pressure, and we couldn't get any clean ball movement going forward. And then when we had the opportunity to do that, we didn't use the ball well. We missed opportunities in front of goal. The shots we were getting weren't great, and I thought GWS's ability to use the ball and find free targets was far better than ours.
You did seem to get some momentum there in the third and quarter and get the ball forward better, but what kind of broke down again for you in the last quarter, do you feel?
I thought their uncontested marks were our ability to. There were some incidents where we couldn't get the job done one-on-one, and that's what we had to do. Quick kicks out of packs. We should have been able to get the ground and get the spoil on. And then there was times where they were kicking the ball around, and our defensive system wasn't connected. We ended up sitting too deep, and their mids, particularly through the middle of the ground, were able to find the free target. So it's something we've been looking at. It's still got a big work in progress because teams this week they were up and find way too many uncontested marks. And even though the inside 50s, I don't know what the difference was in the inside 50s, but their ability to control the ball meant we spent a lot of energy in defense, which means it's hard to have the same energy in offense when you're defending a lot.
David, the 6-goal margin is the biggest one you've had this season. Was this also the most disappointing display, especially when it came with a slow start and, as you said, a lack of tackling intensity?
Yeah, the tackling intensity, yeah, that was definitely... we picked a tough team. We thought we picked our tougher team. We thought that to beat GWS, you've got to be strong in the contest and win the ball, but then also tackle them and pressure them. And they beat us in the tackles, and then they beat us on the outside with their uncontested marks. So our ability to connect and defend as one wasn't good enough. And then also when they went forward, they were able to take some. We had an extra behind the ball, and they were still able to take some contested marks and got some good looks on goal. So yeah, I think that's we've had a few disappointing ones, but that's right up there. It was very hard. It was very frustrating to watch.
And what did you say to the players about the lack of tackling pressure? Because at half time, I think the stat was 45-20, and you had 12 players that hadn't even laid a tackle in that time.
Yeah, we talked about it. We highlighted. We showed an example of just one stoppage where we actually won it. Our inability just to use the ball correctly with the first gives forced us to get tackled, and then when we had our chance, we didn't have the same intent on them. I thought their pressure was very good, and that's a mindset. We need to get better at it. It's been a constant for us, and we always like to balance the inside and the outside, and they beat us in that area today convincingly, and it's something it's really disappointing because we felt we brought in Kennedy, Fogarty, Luke Parks, and we thought they were all strong in the tackling and competing area. So we need to continue to look at that and make sure we've got everyone buying in, because today we didn't.
And you said that's part of the mindset that the team came in with. How can you change that around? Because you've just come off the bye, and a couple of weeks the club's under so much criticism, and you weren't able to come out firing like I'm sure you would have hoped. So what can you do differently?
We'll keep reviewing training. We'll keep reviewing the games. It's obviously learning. Right now, we're in a real pit. We're not playing great football. We're not playing with confidence. There's little patches there where we move the ball okay and we defend it okay, but we're not doing it consistently enough. So to get out of that, you've got to work hard. You've got to have honest, accountable feedback, and we'll do that. We'll be really strong and clear with the boys of what's happening, and then you've got to go work on it. You've got to work really hard, and that's our challenge. We need to buy into that. We need to work really hard. We need to roll our sleeves up, because today they just out-tackled us too easily.
David, you talk about the ability to defend as one. I mean, how much of that is the effort of the players, and how much of it is the system not being there to allow them to defend?
Yeah, it was a little bit of both. There was some contests. Sometimes it was too much effort. We'd get sucked in and we'd go into a contest we didn't need to, and then they owned us on the outside. So there's some decision making from a one-on-one point of view and ability to execute. But then there's also, from a team point of view, we got too disconnected. There was some big gaps opening up through the middle of the ground once we got the opposition slowed down. And once you get them slowed down, you should be able to fill the ground better than we did. So there's definite education there that we need to continue to work on. We've been working on a lot right now. We have to review the way we're educating it, because we're not executing under the heat of the battle. When the pressure comes, we're not getting the job done.
Do you take it personally that the first game after the club's announced that it's launching a review, that they come out and first half is 20 tackles to 44 or whatever it was, and just the lack of pressure around the ground, and I mean efforts are sort of, I guess, the common base that most players can bring to a game regardless of talent?
Yeah. Well, it's very disappointing, and it falls on all of us. It falls on the coaches, the playing group. We're all in this together, and we've got to learn together and grow together. And we've got a lot of growth right now. We're not playing good footy, and it's simple as that. And we need to get better with the ball as well. I thought we missed some opportunities, but particularly from a defensive, when you're not using the ball, well, you've got to defend more. So if we could use the ball a bit better, we wouldn't have to defend as much. And then when it's time to defend, we need to really buy into it. We need to understand the system, educate the system, and then go out and execute. And we're not doing that at the moment.
Did everybody pull up all right, fitness and injury-wise, please?
We had one. Luke Parks copped a big hit in the third, and then I think at three-quarter time it might have stiffened up a little bit. So I think he's got a corked back. So we'll just have to assess that one at this stage. But other than that, I haven't had a medical review, but I haven't heard too much else.
David, Sam Walsh was a bit quieter than he has been probably for the whole season, really. Thanks to some close checking from Matt de Boer. What did you say to him about working through that? Because he at least seemed to have a bit of an impact in that final quarter.
Yeah, I think it's something that Sam's going to face, and he's faced in other games as well. And there was some periods where he positioned himself really well from a team point of view and put his mates first. But probably his ability to get that outside the ball and ability to kick the ball forward was something that de Boer did a really good job on him. Probably the disappointing area there is if they're doing that, how do you still play a role? How do you still create space for your teammates? And we got beat probably in the contest. So it was a challenge. I think when he went to the wing, he used his running power, and that's something we need to continually add to his game in terms of shifting him around in different positions. And I thought when he went half forward and wing, he could use his strengths a little bit more.
David, what's your message to fans, I guess, who would have entered this season with a lot of optimism, and I guess now you find yourself 4-9?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I'd be asking our fans to stick with us. They're pretty loyal, they're passionate, but right now they'll be hurting. The players are hurting, the coaches are hurting, and our fans will be really hurting. They've been so good to us. They stick by us. So we understand that it'd be frustrating for them right now, but we think if we continue to work hard, we've got to get better, but we think we've got that in us and I know they will. Our fans are very loyal, and particularly last year through the COVID, they were outstanding. So, we understand they're frustrated, and it's warranted because we're not performing the way that we should be.
Do you feel as if the team has taken any steps forward in I suppose, the 2 years you've been at the helm?
Oh yeah, there's been some real growth. Unfortunately, it's probably been a little bit more from an individual point of view, and as a collective, our ability to execute as a whole has probably dropped away. I think we're not playing with the confidence and belief that we had when I first took over. There was an energy and a belief. I thought at the end of the third, start of the fourth, that they were starting to come back, and I was starting to see that energy and up on their toes. So that's our challenge. We need to make sure that we can bring energy and play the way we want to play all the time, regardless of the scoreboard, regardless of what's going on around us. We need to be able to take ownership of the game and make it happen. And that might be by tackling at times and limiting opposition's damage, but then also winning the ball and getting it forward and using the ball well. So we've got a fair bit of work to do. Our ball use wasn't good enough tonight, our finish, and then definitely our defence is probably our biggest growth area.
That 4-9, I suppose the finals probably look a long, long way away. I mean, what do you hope to get out of the last 9 games of the season?
Oh, look, to be honest, I want to see us use the ball better. I want to see us be strong in the contest, but if there's anything, I want to see our defence get better. I want to see a ruthless team that buys into it, gets the job done when it's time to get the job done one-on-one, but then also connects to a system and play their role in the system and understanding the importance of getting your job done in part of a bigger group. So at the moment, we've got a bit of a disconnect at times, and it's too often. And for us to go to where we've got to go to, we need to be a lot better in that area.
David, I guess to get where you want to go to, is that path clear to you, or are you still searching for some answers yourself?
No, we're searching for how, but no, we're clear with what we need to do. And I think all you guys saw it. We got smashed today in tackles. We need to be better in that area, but particularly from a defence, we're getting isolated and getting to 1v1 behind the ball. And our system, we'd like to be able to support each other, get a third man across the contest, and then shift as a team to save our legs a little bit. So then when we turn the ball over, we've got more energy in offence. And right now, we're not getting that done.
David, you've said in recent weeks that you'll pick the young guy in any close selection calls. At 4 and 9, do you start to look to prioritise youth even more, bring in guys like O'Brien, Petrevski-Seton, especially when the current group aren't getting the job done?
Oh, we'll look to change because we're not getting the job done in terms of the age of who comes in. It'll be the people that are putting their hand up and playing well. We had quite a few guys that played some good, strong football today, but this club in the past have probably gone down that path and guys that may have got comfortable in just getting games where we want you to work really hard. We want you to be in great shape. We saw Matthew Kennedy. He's worked really hard to get into the team, and we saw the way he played today, his desperation, his commitment to compete and tackle, and that's what's expected of any player that wants to break into the team. You need to bring that sort of commitment, and that's what we'll be looking for, and that's what we want to reward.